I can make it through the night. So don't say goodbye. Don't say goodbye. I'll turn the world back in time, so we can try it one more time. Saying I love you won't change your mind, so please don't make me cry, 'cause I love you so deep inside. Days and nights you're on my mind. Years of memories make me cry. Don't make me cry. I need you here by my side, so I can make it through the night. So don't say goodbye. Don't say goodbye, no. I'll turn the world back in time. I'll turn the world back in time, so we can try it one more time. So don't say goodbye. Don't say goodbye. I'll turn the world back in time, so we can try it one more time. I'll turn the world back in time, so we can try it one more time.
Well, look like we get started. Well, I'm trying to get. I'll have my partner, Mr. Naleai. Can you address us this today, please?
I guess it's not working on my video on my laptop.
Those guys are holding sign, I guess.
Hey, Swaki. Hey, Pule.
Hey, Reggie.
Hi, Reg.
Hey, guys.
Oh, doing good, thank you.
Tell Vic, I'll call him. Don't call me.
Yeah, we're doing sign waving. When we start, then I'll move on the side.
You can join us later if you are busy right now, Reggie.
No, all good. We're just holding signs, and when we start, then I'll move someplace quiet.
Oh, okay. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Reggie.
Look like we're on. So,
What's up, Dave? Your camera is off. Natalie? No. Carlos gonna answer your phone. I wonder if this is the guy. Who was Cody Daniels, yeah?
Thank you for tuning in. We'll begin. We'll have Pulefano address us to begin, please. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we like to say aloha, malole, talofa, yorana, bulavinaka. To everybody that's listening tonight, we are here tonight in the
No problem.
Red Raiders Nation program with Coach Levi
No,
being
some
our
other guys
host.
too that wants what's going to come.
And we are here
So maybe it
to
was those guys too.
discuss any
But
kind
thank
of
you.
situation that you might have of our North Shore community.
Reggie, maybe you can mute until you speak, please, because of the background noise. Reggie, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, can you mute until when you speak, then you unmute, please?
Okay, how you do that? Okay.
Yeah, just tap on your
Thanks.
picture and then tap the little mic on the bottom.
Yeah, I get emojis.
Yeah, just click on your picture and then you see the little sign. And then
Okay, I
you go
got it.
with David. Okay, so we'll have Pulefano to open remarks, then we can talk. Thank you.
Aloha,
Aloha.
talofa,
How you doing, Kurfano?
talofa malole, bulavinaka, yorana. We'd like to welcome all the people who are listening in and tuning in to this special Red Raider Nation program. And we thank all of you to listen because this session goes on every Thursday afternoon from 5 to 7 p.m. And we're here to talk story with our community, anything that you might want to present, including our candidates for office, the mayor, any kind of thing that we involve in here in Kahuku, Laie, Aula, and little other towns. So our host tonight is our coach, Siwaki Levi, and myself assisting him. And we'll talk about different things tonight. So welcome everybody.
Thank you, Pulefano. Please, everyone, if you would like to share this so that your friends may be able to tune in, I'll be sharing it in a minute. Right now, but at this time, I would like our Pulefano, I would like our special guest for the day to introduce themselves, even though that a lot of the people already know who they are. Just in case we have visitors that may that want to know more of who we are. So my name is Siwaki Levi, right here from Kahuku, and very, very happy to be here this moment, especially to show how we care for our community, Pulefano,
Right on.
and try to encourage our people to register to vote and hopefully come out to vote, and hopefully they can join. And most of us, with what we have decided, it will be the best for our community. So I'll pass it down to David, please, David.
David Tell. I'm a long-time resident here in Laie. Mostly raised here my whole life, basically, and just grateful that I have the opportunity to be on a platform to promote Keith Amamia as a future mayor for Honolulu.
Thank you, David. Reggie.
Hello, everybody. This is
Hello.
Reggie Torres. Other guys, I'm just grateful, like as Dave said, to be here supporting Keith Amamia. We're in Hula right now, waving signs in support of him. And please, everybody, vote for Keith.
Right on, guys. Guys, like I said, Ulefano will be hosting us today to talk about some important issue. But before that, man, David, when we started this and Carlo joined us to give us the facts of how many people actually did not vote, not even to mention people who did not register, and most important, there were almost 10,000 people who registered to vote and only 3,000 voted, so about 6,000 people did not even bother to care. And I think, David and Pulefano, when we hit by all these issues, especially the windmill, the last issue, we had no voice because, and maybe that's the reason why they came our way, because they knew that we had no voice. But we'll talk more about that. But David, man, it is is an eye opener, Pulefano. It's a wake up call for us to come together to make sure that people know in office that we do have a voice, and we intend to have everybody register before the 5th, which is Monday, Pulefano. But anyway, those are among some of the issues and the facts that we'll be talking about here today. But I'll turn the time over to Pulefano to guide us today, David and Reggie. Thank you. And I'll probably bring in Carlo in a minute, so that she always have great things to share with us. So, she's already here, yeah? Carlo, I'm going to have your own phone, so that way you guys can be not too close together to conflict and contribute to the conversation. Okay, Pulefano, all yours.
Thank you very much, Coach. Before we touch upon our candidate for mayor, I'd like to discuss briefly the COVID-19 pandemic upon us, and that we are a community that we warn our people and teach them of all the things that goes on. And then we go into the LDS Church in the North Shore is now going to open on October the 11th. So we touched on those issues because a lot of people are listening to all of us. I'm going to say something about the virus first. And then Brother David, please continue after. And first of all, in the last couple of days, we had some issues. A lot of places were open, business opening up again. But things are getting bad again. The number of people that are affected with the virus went up again last night. And what do you think? Is this going to be a good opening? Business back to open, everybody back to work, or there's still time to refine this thing or not?
Me personally, I believe we're going to always live with COVID-19. I think it's going to be a part of our lives from here moving forward. How do we cope with this? This is something that I think we're looking for answers from our leadership, right? We're looking for answers. How do we get our businesses back in place after Honolulu? And now they close their doors because of the pandemic. We also are facing, now more than ever, we're facing mental health issues with our young ones that, they're used to a social life that, allows them to have the freedom to go to parks and restaurants or anywhere any public places that they can just have a release, or even at school and foremost. But that's prohibited now. So we need leadership to help us move us into this next era.
Thank you very much. That's very true what you said about what's happening now. And so are we saying the worst is over, or is still with us, or something happening?
The worst is not over. Well, it's really a catch-22. What do? You open up because we need to start businesses. We need to get people back in the state to spend monies, and because we need that. We need to get back to work. But at the same time, if we do it too soon, we start another pandemic again. If you notice, we thought we had under control, but it's skyrocketed and it's crazy now. I mean, it's not as bad because we were in Hawaii, but still the numbers are pretty high. Triple digits. We're averaging triple digits where we never used to.
Yeah.
And the tourists are not even here yet. But a lot of it has to do with us. You know, we have to be smarter. We have to social distance. We have to use masks. We have to stay clean. And at the same time, if we are starting to not feel good, stay home. You know, but we're not. People are still, you know, because it's right now because of the first shutdown. People are out of work. Now everybody, we open back up. They're at work. They don't want to stay home. So they're saying, oh, maybe this little cold is just a cold, and they go to work, and next thing you know, it's not a cold, it's COVID, and they spread it among the workers. You know, but they're taking those chances because, look, our economy, we need to work, we need to make money, we need to survive.
Yes.
You know, the thing that's going to help us is if they find that vaccine. Experiments, you know, I've been donating plasma, and they're using plasma and to help others. You know, and they got some experimental drugs out there. If they,
You know,
Thank you.
I
Go ahead,
really,
Coach.
you know, I'm really focusing on what Reggie said is right. It's a catch-22 because, you know, either way, you know, we need the economy to get moving. We cannot just lay down to die, you know, and we need, you know, but the key here is for us to be smart, you know, to go about our normal business, but to be very smart. Don't be selfish. If you're sick, you need to stay home. And if you're out there in public, like Reggie them is doing right now, you put your mask on and you be careful and you make sure you don't expose yourself to people that, strangers and people that you don't know, you know. And I think if we just be smart, Polifano, and go about our business, we can avoid getting sick, and we can bring our economy back so that you know, we're not too far behind. But that's a very good point.
Okay. Thank you very much, my brothers, for your comments. You know, I have one question to ask about this. The question is, we see so many people wearing masks, keeping distance apart, and yet there's other people complaining why the lockdown, why all the restrictions are still going. Are they watching the TV every night? The number of affected people are getting higher, and deaths still continue to come on. What do you think about that?
I don't know how they're classifying. I guess it's the cases that come back from the testing, those that have tested or those that have arrived at hospitals feeling ill. I think that's where those numbers are coming from. And so there's a lot more numbers that haven't been accounted for, right? Like Reggie's saying, if we all, and Coach Suwaki's saying, if we all take accountability for our actions and for our behavior and for ourselves, we can help curb this this COVID-19. It's not going to go away. We can help bring it down.
Yes.
If we all do our part.
Great. What about Rich?
no, like David said, exactly. We just need to do our part. You know, like Swaki kept saying, we got to do our part. We cannot be selfish. You know, people are grumbling about masks and stuff. But honestly, you know, if you got these underlying conditions, like people with asthma, I got asthma. I don't want to, you know, I don't want to wear a mask. I got asthma. But think about it, then you shouldn't be outside because you put yourself at risk. Those with underlying conditions, they catch COVID. It could be very bad, if not detrimental to them.
You know, to second what they say, Polifano, no matter what we do in everything, there's always a few people that they don't follow rules anyway.
Everywhere.
You know, it's you know, we've been like this for like 8 months or more, and some people are still looking like, oh, why is everybody? You know, and that's what you said, Polifano. They don't watch the news. They don't see what's going on. You know, they are really, and those are the people that we're concerned about. It's like everything else. We drive on the road. Everybody's being a careful driver, but there's always going to be a few. So for us to be smart, we are more like a defensive driver. You know what I mean? We watch for ourselves, and we watch for others who's not watching themselves, you know. And I
Yeah.
think that's the same thing here. We try to protect ourselves and try to protect others. In the meantime, we can recognize those few running around like nothing changed, like it's a normal thing, you know. And but anyway, but that's I'm so proud of my T-shirt, guys. You see my shirt, man. That is,
No, against you.
but
Yeah.
you know, we just gotta do our part. And for people out there who's listening to us right now, and some of the things that we're doing, Polifano, our part is being very selective of who our leader is gonna be, because you know those are the people that can really think like the things that we're trying to do. You know what I mean? So that's why we're here. But back to you, Polifano.
All right, we'd like to move on a little bit. We have a small subject here to talk about, and that is we'd like to remind all people that the Laie State will open up their churches on October 11. And the North State already opened, and BYU already opened, but there are still some instructions that we have to follow of the amount of people and cutting down the meeting time. And is there anything else you guys want to mention about that before we move on?
No, I think that the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, they had a plan from the very beginning of how to transition us from home and into our congregation and back into our buildings. It's not positioned right now for us to go there full time. So like you said, for the funnel, they've made adjustment. The time is limited. The singing is the chorus is not being sung, and everything is hummed. At least that was done in our ward, and we're but just being in the chapel amongst others and social distancing ourselves, being accountable there, was really refreshing, and it was really good for the mental health. So
Thank you.
that
Yeah.
in itself was a plus, right? But we're still a long ways from it, So it was a good thing for us.
So like anything, we go into it, but we have to be very careful, yeah? We got to know what
Correct.
we're doing, and because anything can happen anywhere. All right, now we bring us to our mayor candidate, and I understand that all of us are all part of Keith Amemia's campaign, and we want to let the public know that we know this brother very well, and we have researched all these platform and all the things that he's doing. But I'd like to hear from your brothers.
Before
Go
they
ahead, Coach.
before they come on, Polifano, I just appreciate the fact that they're out there, pushing every day, trying to get to our people. And you know what really bothers me, and later on I'll share about my contact with certain people. And you know what? Sometimes, Polifano, I'm irritated by how I don't know what a better word. I know we are on, but how they are really just don't pay any attention,
Yeah.
And I have to answer to some and explain. But I finally learned that about 70% of the people I come in contact with, it's a big help. We need to talk to them because they just go about their every day thinking that everything is normal. So, but I appreciate these guys. Reggie, you guys are out there, with the things that you do. Thank you so much, David, all of you guys. But back to you guys for your answer, please.
Okay.
We'll let Reggie go. Reggie can go first, and I'll follow up.
Well, first thing I want to do is I want to share this.
Right ahead.
Yeah.
There's
We
hardly
got
anybody
people-
out there.
there's a group behind me. These guys, they're representing the stevedores. You know, we've been in
Oh,
contact with one of the stevedore VP for the union. He sent some guys to show support. I mean, there's so much support throughout the whole state because Keith is someone we can trust. Keith is a man with integrity. I've known Keith, as I said last week, for a while. As Tawaki, you know him a long time. We can only say good things about him. But we're putting our trust in Keith because we believe in him and his ethics and what he can bring to the mayor's table. You know, he's going to be there for the communities, big and small, big and small. I know Junior, we were in his committee, and he always talked about having a voice. If we as a community come on and vote, we will get numbers, and we're going to show the politicians that that they should listen to us based on numbers. But the truth is, Keith will listen to us, small community or none, and that's what we love about Keith.
Thank you. Anything about you, David?
you know, I've known Keith for quite a long time. When we first met, I know that for us, it was doing from athletics, right? So he was a Punahou guy. We're Ku'upu, and I met him through my brother, my younger brother Brian, and we come to learn of Keith and learn of what type of individual he is. And through all these years of knowing him, he's always been honest. That's one thing that I've taken from him. He's always been a man of integrity, and I would like to say that, you know, that's hard to come by nowadays in this. And you see a patch of these individuals like that in pockets of across our state. And Keith is one of those that where you look and you talk to him and he listens and he understands, and he's not over talking or overreaching over you. He's really interested in what you have to say and why you have your viewpoint, so he can, you know, not counter, but so he can add to it or see if there's something that he can help alleviate the issues that we've had. So I've known him to do that, and he's been doing that for years behind the scenes, doing it without any political motive, right? And so he's come into our community, and he's done that so many times. And when he decided to run for mayor, I knew right away that I was going to help him. Because one thing about Keith, he's always had a plan for everything. He never comes unprepared. He always has a plan, and he always comes ready to go about it. And he always has good people surrounding him. He's not the man that has all the answers for himself. He'll never be that individual, but he knows that he can gather around a team of strategic, methodical, forward-thinking people to get the job done. And that's exactly what we need. Everyone thinking, like, oh, it's all about the economy, that the economy is going to drive us. It's a balance. The mayor of Honolulu is a hard position to fill, and it's a hard duty to take on upon the shoulders of an individual. But if you take on a group of people, just like us coaches, how head coaches of Suwaki and the head coach of Reggie, for them to be successful, he had to survive. I don't think of anyone that comes in there and on the table and just decides, like, okay, let's wing it. You can't do that with 1 million people in Honolulu. Lives are at stake here. And that's why the mayor position is not a simple thing. It is. He's going to come in January of the new year to a fresh office. Is there going to be people there to transition? I don't think so. It's going to be new seats, new computers, sitting there and take over from the last predecessor, right? And then from there, how do you do? You still got emails, you still got work orders, you still got business to take care of the city while we're doing this transition. Who's the better person in place to be able to take over that transition and run with it, and yet be able to help us move on to the next step or the next phase? And I think Keith is that person. Can't focus on one thing or another. You have to focus on a broad range, right? You got to have the team in place to be able to do that. So that's the reason why I trust Keith. I know he has that in place. He always has a plan. And I'm not saying the other person does, but I know Keith does, and that's why I'm voting for him.
Thank you very much, David. Coach, you want to?
Yeah, I just want to alert the people who's going to be listening, either live here tonight or later on today, tonight, tomorrow. We are here as community people, we all been here, grew up in this community, and we do care about the future of our grandkids, kids and grandkids. And we have come to learn that the way to take care of the future, to at least have a voice, have a chance, is that we need to carefully select who our leaders are. And we are some of those community people who have done our homework, who have do our due diligence to really put our face, our name, and our trust on Keith Amemiya. Most of us here, we have a personal relationship with this person, and we know exactly what kind of person he is. I would not be here, David. I think it's the first candidate in all my life that I've come forward. I'm usually one of those guys who are very busy with so many different things, and I do have my opinion, but I never had the courage and enough faith on an individual to step forward and put my name on it, and this is the first one, and that's because of everything else that just happened in our community, it's kind of Pulefano, I'm sorry to say this, but it's kind of spooky, not knowing. I mean, you look at what's going on the presidential, thing that's going. It could be crazy. It could be worse. It could be, So the best thing we can do is try to do our due diligence, to have a voice, to speak up where you belong, because as the facts presents, Reggie and David, 10,000 people register, 3,000 people vote. That's just a showing that this community do not care to have a voice so that we can take care of our grandkids, and it's about time. And I think Pulefano, I think we put together a team out there that is everywhere, that is going to move this community into a positive direction. I think, like I said, come on out and vote. And here are some of us here who have been leaders in this community. We're giving out everything that we got and the best due diligence that we have. And hopefully you can join us, especially those people who had not done. I spoke to many, David, and they don't even know who the candidates are. They don't even know, I mean, and I told them, so and he said, but I vote. I said, so let's say you enter to vote, who are you going to vote? It's funny and how some of them said, I don't know, I'm just going to go there and, I guess, and I think you guys come across a lot of those people who just don't care. They don't do their homework. And that's why we're here. Hopefully we're doing our homework and doing it for you as well. Trust us. We would not be here showing our face, Pulefano, Reggie, David, Junior Ayu, I mean so many people, because we have done our due diligence, and we hope you can trust us. Pulefano.
Right.
Go ahead, Reg.
Just adding to what both of you said. First of all, what Dave talked about as far as the mayor's seat. I looking at Keith and Rick, and I'm like, you guys must be crazy. Because whoever's going to step in that mayor's seat got a tough job to follow. You got the rail. We got problems with the rail. We got these COVID cases. Our you look at our economy, it's pretty bad. The situation is tough. But then when you start looking at Keith, you realize that if anybody can get us back on track, it's Keith, because of what we've seen him do, and what we know about Keith. And the bottom line is because Keith is about the people. And then going back to what Suwaki was saying, as far as running into a lot, when we run coaching programs, we get it's such a big thing besides working and raising our family that we don't have time to do the homework. And you look at our community, especially, a lot of people are working multiple jobs. They're just worried about putting food on their table, let alone finding a politician to vote for. And that's why you said, Suwaki, that's where we come in, to be the voice, to let them know that Keith is the man to vote for. Because who Keith is and what he's done and what he's capable of doing for Hawaii. for Honolulu, yeah. But I understand, and that's the thing that's going to help us reach out to these people because, we were like them. We weren't familiar with the candidates. We know of some, but when I voted this year, I looked at all the lists like, boy, I don't know some of these guys. I had to go Google, because we're so busy with other things that trying to survive life itself. Let alone find the time to research these politicians. But like I said, that's where we come in, and we're hoping that we can do a good job, letting the people know how good Keith is and the type of mayor he can be for us. Yeah.
All
And I
right.
wanted to
Yeah, go
definitely
ahead.
add upon that. I think the wind, the turbines in Karuku woke us up, no doubt about it. When we found out that the turbines are coming out there, and then the community of Karuku went out there and did all they did, you couldn't help but have your heart just go out to them for the fight that they put up and the fight that they're still going through right now. But we didn't have the support of the mayor. We didn't have the support of city council. But they're still fighting out there, but look what we got now. We got wind turbines in the backyard of our place,
Yeah,
encroaching
mine.
on the rest of the Ko'olaus, right? So how do we stop that? I said we have to be active now. If there was anything that we learned from Kauku and Kuikiai Kauku, is that we have to be active. We have to have our voice out there, and we have to be able to stand behind someone that's going to be able to reach out to us. Bust their chops each and every day. Don't go to the corporations. They don't have nothing. They want money. They need money. They need support. But who's suffering? It's the people. So when you got someone like Keith who's coming down to the people and helping us out and listening to us, that's the man that I'm going to vote for. I'm not going to vote for someone who's going to go and grab BYU president or something like that, or PCC president and or whoever, or I'm going to go for someone that comes down and talks to me at my level and understands the things that I'm going through, because it's me that counts, right? And it's me and my family. Like Walker says, our family. But the turbines woke us up, and we need everyone that's registered to vote. We need everyone to vote. We need to know that Keith knows that he has people in the North Shore, in the Laie, Kahuku, and Haula community voting for him, so that things like the turbines don't ever come our way again.
Thank you very much.
Dave, sorry, just
Go ahead,
adding to what
Reg.
Dave said, yeah, about the turbines and stuff. They say you can't stop progress. We're going into natural energy. Yes, it's better for Hawaii. It's better for the world. Natural energy. Get away from coal. Get away from oil. But at the same time, as a community, all we want to do is be heard. Give us a chance to speak. Give us a chance to work it out. And yes, we need to get windmills to help, but we need to find a place for it. Not close to the high schools, not close to the communities. And the only way is to give the people a chance to talk. When these turbines came up, they were saying, where was the community in getting their chance to voice their opinions? Only when they had to stand on the picket line, but then it was too late. At least with Keith, he knows the importance of having a voice, and he will allow people that opportunity. And because we can't stop progress, but we can make it work. It can work for everybody if just allowing people to voice, and come together as an agreement. Hey, maybe we gotta go deeper into the mountains, someplace where it doesn't affect everybody, but still help us with, natural energy. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, my brothers. For the benefit of those who are listening and those who are scouting us out, people that want to know, people are sitting on a fence not knowing whether they should go with Rick or they go with Amemiya. First of all, you brothers talk like you really know Keith Amemiya well. You know him. So I would like to take us back a little bit. Can we all talk about his qualifications? People need to know his qualifications. People need to know, was he learned, or what did he do? Where? What? We talk about his schooling and his experience, and then I will present about 4 different subjects that you brothers know very well, that we can talk so the community can hear us So we start with his education background.
Well,
I believe Keith is a Punahou graduate. He's been there for a long time, and he's also sent his son through that school. His profession is a litigation lawyer at Bart, but he's also done services, and he's also was HH. Was that Reggie HHSSA?
SAA, yeah, SAA.
Yeah,
Hawaii High
president.
School
That,
Athletic Association.
yep, where he ran that and was able to get us to a good place in that, and he's also part of some other businesses that allows him to freelance in certain areas, and he's been successful in those areas. Keith is just someone that, though he's worked there as a as a civil litigation and HHSSA and he's been directors of certain programs, and so he's always been someone that you just know that he's meant for public service. I've known him throughout my life. We've had, throughout the latter part of my years here with him, that we've had a lot of family dinners together and gotten to know him. And that's because, for us, as me, as an individual, it's how I feel towards in that person. To say that he's an honest man, he's a man of integrity. And every opportunities that he's engaged in, he's always looked out for the best of that program and also for the best of communities.
Very good. Anything from
Okay,
you, Raj?
yeah. As you know, as Dave said, Keith is a lawyer by trade. Okay, his education took him; he became a lawyer. It's a family trade. But as Dave said, he was the HHSA executive secretary. Ran all the sports for the state of Hawaii for high schools. When he was done, he went and he worked with UH. He also was in charge of businesses. He helped CEO some big businesses. He helped with businesses as well. So he's been in the business sector. He's been in the high school sector. Okay, he's also worked with the Board of Education. So he's been to many different sectors. He's worked with legislature. Because of the sports and funding problems sports had, he went out and worked with businesses to create funds. So Keith is he's a well-rounded individual who has created a lot of good contacts that Dave had mentioned before. When he got things done, he made great relationships, as you said. He's going to need businesses. He's going to need people with funding, with money to help give back to the communities. Help our high schools, sport programs, help communities besides sports. And it's that networking that Keith has, and it's good people. Keith surrounds himself with good people, as what Dave said. But like I said, his background is so diverse that he would be he's the best candidate for mayor right now.
Thank you very much, Coach. You have anything to
Yes,
add?
man. It's easy to share good things about Keith because and I'm speaking, just for the three of us right here, Reggie and David and myself. Usually we campaign for, and when we speak, it's so easy. We can talk all night, Pulefano, because we know, and I know this guy is the best, and honestly, the biggest problem right now with parents trying to run a home study. Most parents, they are giving up. They said, and in order for a lot of these school activities to continue, he is the man. And I think what I need to add is this angle. I need people to focus on this. There are three type of people in the world, and there's the one that we're looking for is the people who make things happen, and of course there are people who watch things happen or they don't care what happened, they don't know what's happening, and but Keith here, he makes things happen, even though he's coming into this to be a politician, believe me, he has the skills and the know-how to make things happen. you present a situation in front of him, he will make it happen. He has the experience, he has the knowledge, the background, the education, and also the support. As Reggie mentioned, in this position, Pulefano, especially more than ever, they're gonna need funds. They're gonna need people, and companies and to step forward. And he have done it in the past, to save different programs and raise millions in short time, and given to be a leader of our state, to be the mayor, he will make a team, a winning team, because we just trust that he is going to be the one. And like I said, now that so many of us, have ties to Pulefano, I think this community from here on in will have a voice, and we're asking you to be part of the support by showing up to vote so that hopefully you vote our way. But even if you don't, it's still giving us the strength or the power for the rest of the leaders in the future to know that we need to treat Laie Haula Kahuku community right, because they do have a strong voice, and that's what we want. We want our registration to be over 20,000. We want our voters to be 20,000. So that's the goal, Bulefano, because like David said, this COVID-19, this windmill situation woke us up, and hopefully, this situation right here is will wake up our people, to get out here and vote. Thank you, Bulefano.
Thank you, Coach. You guys have mentioned some very key things about Kita Mebia. And again, it's just for the benefit of those who are listening and trying to make a decision who they should vote for. All right, now that we know that Keith is well educated, is attended church, school here at UH. He also went to the University of Merced in Boston and received about 3 different kinds of degrees, and have served the community of Hawaii as an attorney all for quite a long time. I work in the public for all the things with sports and families and things like that. So here's another issue. I'm asking the question, and I want you to answer as Keith. What do you know about him? How will he tackle the problem? For many years in the past, we have heard all the governors, all mayors talk about the issue of homeless, cheap homes, and try to build housing for the homeless people. What is Keith have in mind? What is his plan in getting a good plan for a homeless, affordable homie? The area from Mililani to Alaiva, there's a lot of grounds up there. Why don't we build 5,000 houses, affordable homes, and give it to the poor or the homeless people? So what do you guys think about Keith's plan for affordable houses and for every homeless to have a home?
That's such a dynamic political issue that's plaguing us, right? We have the mainland that's sending their mental health patients here to the state of Hawaii, right? And they're falling right down in our doorstep. They're falling right there in our lap. And here's Keith, we have to address it. Everyone has to address it, but it's getting more prevalent, more and more. But what you're seeing is, you're seeing families out there, but I believe you're also seeing mental health issues that's associated with this behavior. I'm not going to say everyone that's homeless has mental health issues, but that's one of the biggest causes of this. And I believe he wants to attack that going moving forward. The other part was, I believe when they instituted the what's that rental units, Airbnb to took away Airbnb a year ago. It impacted a lot of you know business owners that were using that as their income. What it did was it also freed up a lot more homes, but illegal operations of Airbnb, you know, allowed those people to still rent out their homes to to illegal renters versus opening it up for our people of Oahu to be able to have that home as a place to rent, right? So we have all these rental units that's out there for illegally for Airbnb, and we can't utilize them because they're still operating illegally. So that's one thing. It's one of many different options that will go across the board. And I believe, like I said, Keith Amemiya and his team will be able to gather that and then start picking it out there. And I think it's not going to take 4 years to solve this.
No, yeah, you're right.
It's gonna be it's gonna be a tough call to go, but I think he's up for the challenge. And Reggie has something to say about it too.
Well, speaking on behalf of Keith, as he's mentioning, okay, I believe Keith will do what we've all been saying. First of all, he's going to surround himself with the right people. He's going to communicate with the right people, the health department, to manage the mental problems that we're facing, the drug counseling, because part of homeless is drug users.
Yeah.
Okay, they're the ones that don't want to go in the shelters because it's too strict in the shelters. They do drug testing, piss testing. They don't want to do that. Okay, so he's gonna look at drug counseling. He's gonna meet with them. Then he's also got to meet with communities and find areas that you can build affordable homes for these homeless people. Keith's going to gather all of these and try to find the ideal situation, because it's not going to be perfect, but he's going to do his best to make it as perfect as possible. Make it affordable, find housing for them, but find a place where the community is going to accept these guys building affordable homes, building a homeless shelter. Then he's going to work with drug counselors. So how can we get the people on drugs here and clean them up? He's going to work with the health department, with the people that has mental issues. How can we help them? Get the counseling involved. So that would be Keith. Keith's going to gather all these people. He's not going to do it himself. He's not going to do it by himself. He's going to find the people to help him make it work. Because Keith does have a plan. He always has plans.
Yeah.
Coach?
There's so much stuff here that the key point here, David and Reggie, I feel comfortable speaking with Keith at any time. We always had before. I could always pick up the phone and call him. He have taken me to dinner with some of the richest people on this island. And he has the connection. And because there's so many of us, Pulefano, that knows Keith and feel comfortable that if we ever have a problem again in the future, like we just had with the windmill, there's enough of us that can sit down with some of these leaders that we are, that we supporting, and at least have ourselves heard. At least this community, and one thing with Keith Pulefano, with all the years that I've spent with him, he's a good listener. He takes time to listen. Sometimes you meet people that they dominate, the conversation and not really give you time to express yourself or your concern. But he is a great listener. You just watch him as he focuses on your words, on what you say, and you know what, and that's getting very, very personal. With the relationship with these guys, it's not like people that we don't know, and we hope and pray that things will just fall in the right place. No, we're talking about a person here that will really take the time to drive here if he have to, and sit with us as a community, as a team, so that we feel good that people are listening to our concern. Because otherwise, the worst thing, Pulefano, in the world is that if you have any concern, and none of the people that matters that make the decision take the time to listen. They may redirect you to so and so who completely have nothing to do with it, or who may not relate your message to the right people. I think we have a friend here, or we have someone very special. He's not only doing it for us because he'll know us.
Thank you very much. The reason why I'm bringing this up and we talk about it, because these are some of the key points inside his platform. And I wanted to know, for the listeners who are listening in, how we feel Keith is going to accomplish this. Yes, we can say he's a great guy. We can say he's a loving guy. But who of us can really say that? Because we never had a chance to move on that. Okay, here's the next thing I'd like to ask our panel. Mauna Kea has happened. We saw a lot of our people up in Mauna Kea struggle day and night. Our kupunas, police move them and take them to jail. That's the last thing that we want to see. All of a sudden, here at Kahuku, our cousins, our aunties, our uncles, all trying to block the windmill. But we had nothing to say. They just came and do it. Whether we were 200 people over here, it didn't matter. They came, and the trucks went in and fixed that. In Kailua, when they went and dug up the graveyards of the people that wanted to stop it, they did. So my question is, how do you see our voice to be heard? You said some of that already. Yeah. What can we do? Or what suggestions we give Keith Amemia so that our community can be heard? Shall they write up a bill, post a sign up, there'll be a meeting with the community, or wait until we all vote on it, or what? Because that is a key issue. Can you guys go ahead and say something about that, please?
Yeah, I think that speaks volumes, and I'm glad we kind of brought that up of what happened to our Kahuku community in regards to ceremony. To be able to have a bill passed and go through the whole process of the city ordinance, it's not. It takes time. Yeah. There's various steps to get that going, and then this is what I was kind of alluding to earlier. I need an individual, a politician, or whatever you want to call them right now, but to me, I'm going to call him Keith, a friend, a trusted brother, that he comes and he talks to you. He's not talking to executives, and though he has a time for them and he puts them on their agenda, but he comes and he talks to you. He's not going to organize everything through the executive level, right? Yeah. Keith comes down to the grassroots level. He's right there with you in your home. He's right there with you in your yard. He's right there with you with your family. And first and foremost, why he's like that? Because he shares the exact same values as us. He's a family man first. He's a family man first and foremost, with his wife Bonnie and his son Christopher. And so, because of those values are very, very dear to him, they're sacred to him, he understands our community very much, because we hold that character, those values dear to our heart. Right on. And he sees that, and we can connect to him through that. And he sees the pain that went through it. So the process that went through, to me, like he pointed out earlier, it was a communication issue that didn't get distributed out to the community. And why? Because they left it at a level where it doesn't get filtered down, where it could be filtered down to the people, but it didn't. And then you got an individual that only talks to the executive level, but then you have someone like Keith who talks to the man himself, who talks to the people. And to me, that speaks volumes of what type of individual I want in that leadership position. When he sees something that he knows that is going to impact families, and he's a family man, he's going to make sure that they communicate effectively to those communities, that they know exactly what's going to happen to them,
Yep.
how it will impact them, and what it will do to their community in general. So that's why I'm all for peace.
Wonderful. Thank you, David.
Well, as you were saying, Dave, about Keith, he is a family member. He's a Wailua boy. He grew up in a small community.
Oh,
Yeah, and he faced a lot of, Keith grew up like us, per se. Wailua, small community, Even though he went to the private school, his mom was homeless. She was homeless for a bit. So he's seeing what we see, yeah? So he knows, he knows where we come from. But as you said, with some of these things that happen in Kuruku, the thing is, the business people spoke to the wrong people.
Yeah.
We have people in our communities that they go around and they seem to represent what the community wants. So they talk to those few, but that's not the majority. When you talk to the majority they didn't want these windmills close to the school, close to the housing, But these businesses talk to the other people, With Keith, no, you're going to talk to everybody. You give everybody a chance to voice, And that's what this community needs, the opportunity for everybody to get a chance to say what they want to say.
thank you very much. Well, that's really, really good. You think maybe kids should drop a law where it says any project the government wants to do in your land, your area, to make sure to draw up a plan and let the people be heard, to talk about it, or maybe a plan something like that?
Yeah, it's in place. Believe it or not, that process is in place.
Yeah.
And like Coach Reggie said, I think we believe what happened was it didn't get filtered down to the communication lines. If you want to pat something behind people's back, you know who to talk to. If you got someone in the community as a leader, it's not just government. Also, it's community leaders that also needs to be be educated in certain things, and be able to bear the weight of their decision. If they're going to make a decision for the community in general, then you better reach out to your people. And at the same time, there's different communication lines that can be pushed across to make sure and ensure that that's done, right? That we are very well aware and versed of what's going to happen in our community. If government's going to invade us or, come in and the way they did with the turbines, then we need to have known that was going to happen and how to prohibit that before it actually took place. Or how can they modify that? So, because every time, they always put the front end cost. Here's our front end cost, and it's outrageous. But at the back end of the cost, there's so much profit at the back end.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you guys, you know what? If you have to put it on top of that mountain right there, you go put it on top of that mountain, and then you let the state argue with you about how you're going to make that. But you're not going to put Ohanas and everyone, progressing into the 22nd century.
Sounds really good.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Reg.
Well, Dave, just adding to what you said, as you were saying, the profits, yes, the profits are there. Always, a business is about making profits.
Yeah.
You're not going to do it just for free. But, we're talking about the community should benefit. Well, rumor has it a few individuals benefited from these turbines.
Yeah.
Those that represent the community benefit, just a few individuals. But you look at what's happening in Laia right now. They're questioning the board. They're petitioning for transparency. And some of it is us too. We speak up too late. We gotta educate ourselves in getting involved in this, to knowing what's happening out there. When you hear something about this, get involved, ask questions, show up to the meetings. They open the meetings to the community. Maybe 5 show up. And if you don't show up, you can't grumble. Standing, picketing when it's starting to happen at the point of that's kind of beyond the point. It's too late. So we gotta, as a community too, get leadership that gonna inform us.
Yeah.
When businesses come in and want to do something in our communities, these leaders gotta be trusting enough to where we can trust them to let us know that they're gonna say, hey, you know what? There's gonna be a community meeting. Hey, you know what? They want to be build windmills by your school, in back of your housing, close enough where you can see and hear it.
Yeah.
So come into the meeting and come and speak and say what you want to say. But it didn't happen. So we just gotta find community leaders who are willing to be there for the right reasons. Yeah.
You know, brothers, you guys are really well because you really know your candidate. I, for me, I've been hiding in a room because they say lock yourself in a room, and I never knew. I went to one and I heard him talk, and right away, in that 1 hour that we spent at PCC, I was really thinking. The thing that really told me a lot about Keith was his humility, and that he speak with kindness and family. With that, it comes first. Now, in David's conversation, he said that there's a law in place. And Reg, you mentioned that people came too late. Now, I'm still digging up this because it's a very, very big issue here in the state of Hawaii of government doing things, and now people don't know what's happening. Who said yes? Who said to dig up the ground? Who said to cut down the trees?
Carlo, please on your camera.
Yeah, he came back on.
And then I just want to say, if Keith can refurbish that to bring it back action and make it work, anything that happens in the people, we got to know by some signs or some let a committee know, and we'll get them out before the city or the state will come in and do those kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Right. Hi, Carlo.
Before
Hey,
Carlo
Carlo.
comes on,
Look like you.
I
you
wanna-
all
Thank you
work
for
on
joining
the
us,
sun.
Carlo.
I want to add this
Yeah,
on
please.
before I
Coach.
lose my thoughts. Reggie and David said some great things, and it just showed to how our community is not taking responsibility. Like Reggie said, you can have the best opportunity for meetings or anything. They just don't show up. I mean, they'll have 2 3 people. Even if you're giving away things, guys, Pulefano, we have had programs at the school where you can really get a lot of free things, or even grants, or even the scholarships. People just don't apply. People just don't go. I'm not sure what it is with our people, but that's just a fact, like Reggie just said. You can call meetings and you can prepare free food, and all of this is all for them. Win, win, win. Giveaways.
Yep.
And they just don't come. And that's the thing that we need to kind of study, yeah? Like, what will it take for them to come? Here is to vote for the leaders that will lead us, that will affect your kids and your grandkids. Here it is. You got nothing to lose. You haven't done any research on the people you need to vote for. You might be too lazy to go to a meeting, maybe not even go to vote. That is a big problem upon us, Pulefano, is trying to motivate our people to care, because this is important. It's too late when they're driving in the windmill to be installed, to go and sit and block the way. That's kind of way step number 10. We're trying to get step number 1, but I think we all, and last but not least, like you mentioned, and you said, that we know our candidate. Like I said before, you know what? We're not just saying this because we know something of gifts. No, we've been working with this guy for years, and we have watched and witnessed what he does. Like I said, this is the first time I stick my face up to vouch for someone. You know, usually I just keep my opinion because everybody has different opinion. Not this one. Well, we can't let go. I was so super happy when I found out he was going to run. You know, and he and I talk on the phone, and man, I'm already excited that he's even running. So yes, we got so much to say. I mean, I guess people must be irritated by us saying all these great things. We're not faking it. You know me, I don't fake. I speak my mind, you know. And if I don't like you, I'll tell you I don't like you, you know. But you know what? Believe me, for all of you who did not do any due diligence or do any homework, I'll do your homework for you. Believe me, you know. Believe me, we got a voice. We got a voice. We got a great team. We got a great candidates. And Pulifano, thank you for being here to host us. Turn the time back to you because we got Carlo with the stats.
Yeah, finally, Carlo. Yeah.
Okay.
Eh,
You know, Coach Levi.
thank you for having me. Thank you. I apologize for coming in late.
No, we know you're
Like
busy
Reggie
on the
was
street.
saying, we were in Haula,
Yeah.
so now I'm finally home.
Everything went well out there? Did everything
Yes.
go well out there?
Yes, we had a lot of people there. It was a good turnout. It was a good turnout.
Okay.
And just want to shout out to the stevedores who
Montador.
came down. Stevedores came down from the docks to support us. And they're going to do
Oh, nice.
another sign waving tomorrow morning, 6 to 8 in Windward City. So thank you guys.
Did they take any flags?
Can you please,
with them?
Reg, can you
They,
please,
they took my what you call it? My signs.
Okay, we need to share our flags. We have 200 flags.
They took whatever was given to them. They took, so they
Oh,
can
awesome.
sign wave tomorrow. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
you know, Coach Levi mentioned something that is in relation to trying to get people to vote. He said there was scholarship, there were all kinds of goodies, but nobody came to get it. How do you get the people to come and get it? How do we get the people to vote? How do we sign up the people? Because when it comes down to the nitty-gritty, that will be the most important thing of all the things that we're doing. Is getting people to vote, getting people to be registered, and that we know we can fight with our relatives, with our friends. So what else can we do we have one more month, so we can re-emphasize our committee to go after that.
Well, I think it's like what the example is set by Keith. He's building relationships, right? Here we are living in our community. We have to do exactly the same thing. Know our neighbors even better, right? Not just our neighbors, going across and just informing them, right? Just start with that. Just start building relationships with people. Because people don't move if you don't have a relationship. They're just going to hear you through one ear and it's going to go out the other ear. And if they decide to, if you all of a sudden you're building that relationship, it's going to happen. It's going to evolve. And hopefully we can get the vote this year. But it should happen every year. So to me, that's the simplest way I can put it. It's to build relationships, to be informed and go with that. Just go, please set the example. There's a team in place. Uncle Junior put that team together, and we're trying to mimic that and duplicate all those efforts and get on the phone and do some door-to-door knocking, passing out flyers, making calls, texting, whatever we can, social media platforms, to get people to commit.
Yeah. Well, you guys know our community. Trying to get them off the chair, get them educated. Get them.
Yeah.
They're so busy. Our community's so busy. But I think this time around we might have a better chance. And like Junior brought up, and it doesn't matter who they vote for. Just get them to vote. And like a lot of my friends have been texting when we did a textathon. I told him, hey guys, look, I'm with Key. I'm representing Key, but we're encouraging guys to vote, to have a voice.
Yeah.
You know, because as one point you can bring up to these communities is, look, the more votes we get from our community, the more the politicians will take us seriously. You know, we're going to have concerns, but look, they're going to go on 100 guys vote. Yeah, I'll go into this community 1,000. We're lucky Key, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the numbers for him. He'll come help us, even if 100 people vote. You know, but to get across to the people, I think one vital aspect and one vital thing they should know is what's happening today. This pandemic, the economy. You know, you want you want something to happen, put people in office that can make it happen. You want to fix what's going on, put the right people in their right seats. You know, you don't do that, we're going to still suffer. You know, things are still going. It's not going to get better. You know, we're going to have lockdown, open up, lockdown, open up. We need leaders who can make great decisions. You know, and it's our job to put them there. Yeah, and it's our job to put them there. You know, if we don't put them there, then we cannot ground. You know, that's not ground. If we don't vote, and the guy who gets in office doesn't come out, doesn't support us, that's our fault.
Yeah.
That's our fault. If we get more turbines building back here because the person who put in the office that we didn't vote for him, we can't grumble. That's our fault.
Now,
you know, so it's an opportunity for us to make change. You know?
Now
That's my piece.
Now comes the key question. If we vote and Amemia makes it, how are we going to keep this working relationship with kids and our community? Are we going to know if there's projects here in the North Shore? Is it going to be involved? Or, like I said before, is it going to write up a little, that we're going to have a meeting? Because if we don't have any follow-up, and if we don't do anything to know what's happening, we're going to have more windmills in Kahuku, more windmills in Laie, more graveyards being dug up. So I'm saying, what can we do to work with Amemia on these issues?
Well, the first thing we got to do is, if he gets in as the mayor, well, we got to understand that he's a mayor, so his Kuleana is only with City and County of Honolulu. That's his power, but he can be a voice to the state government. He can be a voice when they have the monthly meeting with the governor. Say, hey, governor, this is the concerns from the communities pertaining to your office, you know, and we need to let the people know that, hey, Keith is someone that will listen. All you got to do is be willing to talk to him. And if you're afraid to talk to him, then let's be the voice for you. We'll talk to him for you. We'll bring up the concerns, yeah?
I'm glad you asked that, Pulefano, because that's a really good question. Let's say we helped him and we help people and they go into office, and are they going to give back to us when we need them? I wish and I hope that our community realized how much Keith has done for our community. Mm-hmm. And not just our community, but state overall. This is someone I trust. I know him. He's a family man. He's trustworthy and he stands by his word. So I guarantee that once he gets that opportunity, he will follow through with what he says. For example, the things he's already doing for our community, he will follow through with what we need in the future. And if you notice, a lot of things that we need here in our community, we're always about family, our ohana. And he's a family man. And he knows the value of how important it is for us here. And not just for Laie, Kahuku, and Haula, but for Hawaii culture overall. And he's a very culture-sensitive person. So I know he's not going to forget us. So
I need to add on to that, Pulefano.
Okay, Coach is going to...
You know what, Pulefano? You and I will continue our show and you in Samoan, I'm in Tongan, to remind our people, update them what's going on, different opportunity that will arise or even issues that is coming, so that they can be aware. Many of the problem is happening not attending the meeting to get opportunity because they don't get it, they don't understand it, or they didn't hear about it. So we're gonna supply more communication open line, especially our culture. We'll bring the different culture, the Filipino, the Hawaiians, the
The Micronesians, don't forget the
because remember,
Micronesian.
this radio global thing is it's called Pacifica, so it's different language. We can offer different hours a week for different language, so they can speak directly to their people. You know what I mean? And that's just to keep things on. And whatever happens in our state with the mayor's office, we'll just give addition information, updating them. I'm just trying to answer your question from what I can do to help, beside other things. But before I forget, I have shared with you guys the link to the YouTube of this program, and I think I sent it to you guys, and it's simple. You can just copy it to anybody, and they will watch this. It's on YouTube. All the shows that come out of me and Pulefano's little office here. It's only 8x8, but you guys may seem like it's huge, but it comes out in 4 different ways. There's a live radio you can listen to. There is the Facebook, and there is the app you can download. I'll share it later.
yeah.
And YouTube is there. You can just copy it. And whatever we share right now, the people who's missing it right now can watch it later. You can stay tonight and keep sharing it to your friends. But that's a good question, because we're not here, Pulefano, just for him to win office and then lay down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're staying on top of this because why? We're going to have a voice in every leader that is coming on. When the governor election come on, believe me, this team will get together and we're going to pack up somebody and we're going to go all out. So for every leader that is going to lead our grandkids, I say grandkids because I think I'm over the hill, but anyway, but this is for them. This is what we're going to leave for them, to leave behind. And anyway, I can't say enough. I mean, I got so many good things to say about this person. And like I said, I hope they can feel me. I'm not just saying this, but I know this guy will take time to listen, because he's a good listener, and then he cares about our concern. He will form a team, and he will create a team to solve all this, like Reggie said in the beginning. Whoever is going to be selected, he got his work, like 10 times more than the normal, election that comes every year, because of all the things that have been said. But back to you, Pulefano. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you for that wonderful explanation of all that we talk about. Kita Mimia is quite a man. I've read a lot about him on YouTube, on all that he's got in there, all written up. I read it about 2 times. There's about 18 pages of different files on him. And I do believe that he is a well-versed person and a good person that will help our community. But I want to pose another question. How will Keith Amemia help our school system in regards to scholarships? It's got to the sex abuse that goes on at some campus, racial discrimination, or for the better, a happy campus, so that we know when our kids go to school, when they grow up, they're in a safe community and a safe place. So, does anybody know or talk or heard Keith went over education? And what is his plan for a better school system? Because right now, we hear some schools have some bad news of kids and teachers, and how can we all wrap them together? Yes, David?
I think that's a hard question because, well, it's not a hard question, but it's defined, right? That school belongs to the state, and the state governs exactly what you're talking about, Polifano, in the sense of education, the curriculum that's in there, the safety of our students, the safety of our children that goes to school, what type of outlets do they have in the means of mental health issues or the means of counseling services, all those good things. And unfortunately, that does belong to the state. And how Keith can help bridge that gap is all the supporting parts, the city, the parks and recs, and to be able to have services to help these kids have a release, have a place to go to and feel safe. That's one avenue that he can help it. And then he can also bridge that relationship with the governor, the current governor, to get engaged in that. The curriculum, the safety of these kids, to ensure that teachers that are teaching there are not abusing kids in the manner that we see that's happening even in today. The kids that are going into the classroom, that they're safe, they're not being bullied, they're not the social media platform. There's services out there, and I think there's got to be a better plan. And I think as a mayor for the city, he can help offer certain specific services into the state to help the state out in that sense, right? You're on mute. You're on mute, Reg.
Sorry, a great point, Dave. You brought up the point that it's a state issue, which it is, but it's not something that Keith will overlook, because as Laine and you guys all said earlier, we know he's a family man, and kids are important to him. Our future of our kids are important to him. The biggest thing, as Dave mentioned, is for him to support education. And how he can do that, we have city parks. We have after-school programs sponsored by the city. All he needs to do is look at those programs and add to it. Add programs that can help prepare our kids for what's out there as far as abusers, as you said, Dave. Offering them activities that when school gets out, they go from the school to the city, supervised. Parents finish work late, they'll come, and the kids are got after-school activities. There was Laine had an uncle that used to run the Kahuku Park, Mr. Sampson, and he used to run flag football. A lot of our kids grew up in that. Yes. He would have a ton of kids running flag football, and in the office, his sister Irene Vendiola would run, arts and crafts, and through that park, he opened up programs in Laie. I know your brother Dave Bryan was coaching for doing that too. So but you look now, those programs are diminished. You don't see that many kids doing city programs. Yet it's there. He just has to get it back out there, expand it, make it like it was, get the kids interested and out. And the more positive things the kids do and supervise, the less chances of them running into bad things.
Yeah. Thank you.
Carlo?
Like what we were talking earlier, your question is, how can Keith help our school system? Before even becoming a mayor, he's already helping a lot. Yeah. I know, I'm not sure about you guys, but I know for my kids, if there wasn't sports, who knows where they would be or what they would be doing. And I'm just grateful that he reached in and helped our OIA program to stay not only maintaining the sports and keep continuing what they were doing, but better the program by funding them. So your question is, how do we create a safe environment for our children? One, for us, he did that with the sports before even becoming or running for mayor. Him helping with our community, that's not school or that's not school affiliated, but he's already doing that to a lot of families. And I'm speaking not just for our community here, but in town too. I know a lot of families that he's helped, and that goes not just for OIA school, and I'm talking about private schools too. So that's why for me it isn't so important that we help Keith become a mayor, just so he can continue helping and have more resource to help our families and our schools. So that's my little 2 cents in.
Thank you very much. That's all real helpful. Coach, you have any thoughts on that?
No, I'm just happy that I'm on the winning team. Look at these guys that we have, Ulefano. I mean, we've been talking non-stop for the last hour and a half, and we never go halfway yet with all the great things and the confidence that we have in our candidate. And you can feel it, Pulefano. I mean, with all of us here, and there are many more. This is just our little corner of the world. Remember, Keith has worked with every high school, not only here in Oahu, but in the whole state, and in many things. There was one time that all of us wanted him to apply to be the athletic director of the University of Hawaii when they needed it the most.
Yeah.
I mean, Keith is he could do so many different things. And this is the stage of his life where he's probably thinking that this is the right time. And you know what? I can't be happier than the time he picked. Like Reggie said in the beginning, it's the toughest call, to run our state right now. Because with everything that has been happening, and to have someone who's creative, with the resources that he's gonna have, what. And this is not just strong in our little community, Pulefano. It's the same everywhere throughout the state, and I look forward to moving on. When we turn the page, when he finally win the election, and we turn that page, then all the focus is on him putting together his team to, in action, in the different departments, to liven up this dead state that we had for a little while. You know what I mean? But I'm sorry to say that. I didn't want to hurt anybody's feeling, but
No.
but basically that's what I have in my mind right now. But Pulefano, I need to hear about you. You heard everything about us. What makes you commit your pretty face and all your experience and all your knowledge to come out every week? It's not easy, to be his face. We haven't even do our Tongan Samoan part because we're so into it, talking to these guys.
Get a vote.
I think we're gonna get a bus, and we're voting now on the easiest way, just mail in. I think our people, we need to drag them to one area to do the mail in or do the voting. But what do you, like you said, you heard him talk. You already said it. I'm sorry, but you just have that spirit with you that he's the right man to lead us. But if you can add a little bit more, to make sure the people knows that you are also have, your belief in him to lead us. Thank you, Pulefano.
Thank you, Coach. I get my testimony mostly from you people, the four of you right here, because many of you have worked with him and have rubbed shoulders with him before, and did a lot of things for families. And because you all come up with your testimony so strong, you added to my testimony and to know him. So I went ahead and read about him to know more about this man. Because if I'm going to put my X on his name, I want to know that he's better than that man that I listen to every night on TV. Rick Cacciani, whatever name he's got there.
Langiardi.
Yeah. And one thing I noticed in his campaign is always saying, you. I am doing all this work for you. And he pointed right at the camera on TV. So basically, I feel both campaigns are going towards us because they know we're the one that votes. We're the one that's going to put them on the pedestal. And that guy Rick, he really talked a lot about business. And that was going to be the next question I was going to present. But I hear Coach Levi testify of him because Coach Levi had a long working relationship with him. And only a friend can write a book about you. Only a parent can write a book about you. Strangers cannot. Because when Levi testifies of him, when Reggie testifies of him, when Carlo and David testify of him, and all your testimonies are the same. That man is a family man. That man cares for our community. That man extends his love to anybody that needs help. Now, who doesn't want a man like that to run the show for him? I believe wholeheartedly that Amemia is a good man. Because yesterday, I think Carlo received a couple of those. I went and make posters to send out to people. And I called up Coach Levi and asked him, how do you say a good family man in Tongan? And I put it on a poster.
Beautiful flyer. Yeah, that
Because
poster.
as long as the people that don't hardly go to vote, the people that stays at home, those are the people we have to focus on. The one who vote, we already know the 3,050 of them vote. Now we need to get the other 5,000 people that don't vote. Get out. So that's why I believe in Keith a lot. And even that short time that we met at the Polynesian Cultural Center, he was just a nice man. He didn't have to elaborate on economy or bankruptcy or any other big issues, the tourism. It's just about talk about his family and how he need our support and how we work together. And that alone make me believe that Keith Amemia was a gentleman and someone who fears God and someone who loves his family. And that's all we need. Now, all that we need to do, we have to keep up this relationship with Keith, even when he makes it up there, so that we funnel him Carlo will funnel him our agenda. This is what we talk about. Take away the windmills from back here or whatever it is. Help our hospital, help our school, whatever. Because that's the way we're going to know he really is the man that we think he is. Okay, Coach?
I just want to thank you guys. We have about 20 minutes as we try to wrap up this. And, like I said, next week we are going to the fourth quarter right now, Polifano. It's October. And, it's just the first day. And we hope to improve this, as we go. We got about 3 more shows before, before the big dance, But what you said and the relationship that we have and the kind of man that he is, I mean, that it tells us I don't know too much about Rick, and I don't need to know things that I don't know, because I just go with what I know, and everything I said about this smiling, good spirited person, Keith Amemiya, it's basically what I believe in. I'm not sure um, how else we can do any better than having this person. And I'm so glad that he was willing to convince his family to run for office. That I'm still pinching myself to make sure that he is really running. Because like I said, he has thousand other things that he can perceive for himself, for his own gain, but yet he's here for us. So let's take advantage of that, people. North Shore people, we got everything in our corner. I hope you can join us. And those of you who have not learned anything on your own, please look at us. Hope we have a good team. Hope we represent him well. That you can trust any of us. There's also the team that Carlo might read off, some of the leaders, I think, because I know they keep seeing us, but there's a lot of great people out there as well. Bulefano, and I think if Carlo and David and Reggie can read off some of these names, from starting from Ha'ula, then coming to Laie, then also Kahuku. I think a lot of the people that will listen to us or see this program on YouTube, tonight, tomorrow, and so on, can at least trust one of us. All of us have different group of friends, and that's what networking like this can happen. Because and those Tongan people kadaki kabau mo fi ilo lahiange kia Keith Amemiya ko Kaloena se misi uave pe pehe po moau siwagrivai ka pehe fo ki kia koutui pe kalo kau pe mo Teresia mo sia a feaki Tonga I e tau timi te moulawa pe o konteki mai ka mautolu ke toi whakamaalaala atu ai whekauaki mo tangata ko eni o ku mautui ki ai pia mau whakapapaui ko ia te ne lava o tokoni lai taha ke tau whanau I he kahau ko ia ko kore atu ka mautolu tau wala nima mai mo au vouti whakaonga e tau sitseni e tau hoko ko tangata I mo whiwhinei whanua whanua whakaofofa ko e ni, pa ko tui e toki tānaki mai peke a Kalo anai, ka ko kukore ia ke tau kau mua he lau, o koe ngai palani ki a tau tonga, e lawa ke matoki whahu mo Kalo ke tangatani, ane au ki ofisi, ko hinga ko hanga hi mea lelei ki a tau tau, e ko tau wake at fo ki tohi kakai, ke mo o tohi kakai, ke ia hatau leo, ke tau toko lahi whiunga, e ku tau fu toko si I pango. Ko ia mo asi mai mua ki mua, paka pau I aho taimi e toko ni mai he puke saini, e lere hoko at pe ia he mahinani, te ulawa pe o toko ni atu mo Kalo, ke aho I taimi, o se te api au ha taimi ke tau papakiu haturiki, mo puke saini ai mo tala noa mo feo. Ko ia me malo apito kai fo ki atu ka purefana.
Laptai lava, laptai po I mamaro sa molo whafonga mai. I tūlanga e se nea whiawhi. O tato proklama nā o tarangoia Keith Amemiya. E mana o mia lava e tato komiti. Ainga uma lava o le stala. Ma sauni mo palota ia novema. Aman mole. E mana o mia uma lava ainga uma e tato ngai whātasi ia whea se leo Samoa I tono o tato community. Whaptai tere rawa o sunga coach.
Tai.
Any one of you want to say your last comment?
I'll go ahead and say mine, and then I'll let the gentleman finish it off for us tonight.
Carlo, wait a minute. Can you say something about? Can you say something about that thing happening in Haleiwa?
In Haleiwa, what happened in Haleiwa? I'm not sure.
Oh, I thought I saw an email that Keith and Mia is going to be there serving food for children in the
Oh,
community.
oh, thank you, Pulefano. Yes, that is this Monday here in Laie.
Oh,
It's at Laie Park. So we sent out an email to all the principal in Ka'ava, Laie, Ha'ula, and Kahuku, and Sunset Beach. Um, the Sunset Beach principal already responded they will be here, but our breakfast is at 9:30 to 10:30 at Laie Park. Entrance will be coming in Laie Park. The flyer, we'll send it to you guys again, but it's this Monday at 9:30 to 10:30. And all elementary kids are invited to please come. It's a grab and go. You just come and pick up and go. You don't have to stay or anything. So thank you, Plefano, for mentioning that. I also want to thank you. You asked a question earlier. How can we educate people to make them feel to the importance of why they should vote? Right here, what we're doing, we're already making that. We're already making that change. We're very lucky that Siwaki has his radio show to help us let people know who Keith is. I know in the beginning, I challenge everybody, just vote. If you don't know who you're voting for, go on social media, do research on it.
No,
But
Carlo,
also,
if they don't know who
now
they're
it's
voting,
very important that
Carlo, if
you
they don't
really
know
do
who
your
they're voting
homework.
for, they need to call me. I'll tell you who to vote for. If you don't know who you're voting for, give me a call. I know
Yes, thank you. If you don't know who you're voting for, please, would you vote for someone who's been helping your community, or vote for someone who's just now approaching you because they need your vote? It's I don't want to. It's common sense. Do you see someone who helped you, and you know they're trustworthy, instead of seeing the commercial on TV? You know, you have to know facts, and we're here because we're putting our testimony, and we know that Keith is the right man for this job, because he will serve, not you, he will serve us.
Yep.
He will serve all of us, and we will benefit off this. So thank you so much. Thank you, David. Thank you, Reggie. Thank you, Siwaki, and thank you so much, Pano.
Carlo. David?
For me, I just like to challenge everybody to do their own research, search it out on these two candidates. Know who's been, an avid person for you that has been behind you, been supporting you throughout this whole time, and been holding, just walking through this whole process of how to get things, how to make our communities better and things like that, and to look at the different platforms that are out there now. I encourage everyone to do their own research on it, instead of, we kind of rely on people kind of giving us certain parts, and you hear it from all over, but if you do your own research, you're sure going to be able to make a informative decision come that day when you vote. We have friends that will vote the other way, and we also have family members who vote for Keith and me. But most important is you have to vote and get yourself out there and do that. But for me and my household, we will vote for Keith Maria. He is the candidate that we know. He's a candidate that we trust. He's a candidate that we know can help keep my family safe, that can help move my family into this next era with this pandemic. It's trying times, and he's the only one that I believe that's be able to handle that. He's the only one that I believe that's going to be able to, engage in a global because of impact. And that's what the mayor of Honolulu is going to be able to do, is engage with all these dignitaries from different countries through impact. And that's something that, no one's talked about, but he will engage in. Other than that, I trust Keith, and I believe that he will be the man for the job.
Rich?
Well, you know, last week I texted Line because I was on Facebook. You know, I'm not a Facebook guy, but I went on because there was comments about Keith and Rick. And man, some of the comments they're saying it's pretty bad. And I'm like, you guys don't even know Keith. You know, you're saying this. And then I told Line, you will not hear me say one negative thing about Rick. Because Rick is not a politician. Keith's not a politician. They're going to be first-time politicians. But you will hear everything that I know about Keith. Because I'm not going to say bad things about Rick, you know, but I will say good things about Keith. And I want to thank you, Pule and Suwaki, for this platform, which allows us to say these things about Keith. Because Keith is not one to brag about himself. He's a humble guy. So it's us who he's helped, us who have worked with him. It's our duty to let people know, because a lot of people don't know about Keith, because Keith, he works behind the scenes. But it's up to us to let people know why you should vote for Keith, what type of person Keith is, and how he can help us. You know, a year ago, you asked me these political questions. I wouldn't know. But now that I'm working to help get Keith move forward, now I'm doing my homework, you know. But I tell you what, it's like Dave said, his family's voting for Keith. My family is. Why? Because my youngest child is 31. My other one, my kids are 31, 30, 35. And they benefited from Keith. And they remembered what Keith did for them through athletics. You know, so this is the generation that he helped. And that's our future. And they're voting for Keith because they know what he's done. And those kids who forgot or didn't know, it's our job to let them know. You know, so shout out to Keith. You know, we're backing you up. We want you to be our mayor. We know what you can do for us. That's my piece.
Thank you, Rich. Thank you for letting us know about those information in Facebook. The devil never stops picking on people. But if we're strong and we hold in, this will be all right. Because Keith has proven to be a very well-versed, well-loved man. Again, I want to mention that working with you brothers make it so important for him to love this community. Okay? Thank you for your comments.
All right.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Carlo. Thank you, Rich. Hi, Coach.
Thank you.
Well, you know, we'll be back next week, and I think Carlo will pick you know, we'll have more. The more people, the better it is, you know. But I tell you, we said what we needed to say, and if any of you have any other way or have any question that you want us to answer, please let us know, because we'll be more than happy, you know, to answer any question that you might have. And for people who have not done anything, meaning you were too busy working and have not do your research, I hope that one of us, you know, you trust one of us to guide you with the process so that we all can become winners for our keikis. Thank you very much, Ofatu te Motoro Nukotoa. Malo.
Father Fua.
So are we done?
Thank
Good
you.
night, everybody. Take care.
Fiji will kick us up. All right.
And I don't mean to cramp your style. Sometimes I wonder just how things happen this way. And I'm just reminiscing of that one cold night we once met. You pick me up every morning, and I just be through with the club. I never thought that a girl could love a man this much. I just can't thank you enough. And I'm wondering, oh, sweet darling, now tell me, what did I do to deserve you? What did I do, babe? What did I say to make your angel eyes turn my way? If only I had the world, I'd give it all to you, babe. Give it all. Now I'm about to